Hey there, my name is Yusuf. It's nice to meet you. If you're an online coach or an online service provider who's doing about $10,000 to $20,000 a month and you're struggling to get your business to the next level, this video was made specifically for you. You should thank the YouTube algorithm for putting this in front of you. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a very simple funnel that you can use to easily double the revenue that you're making in your business right now. Sometimes triple, quadruple, quintuple, I don't know the other words after that. Okay, so let's walk through this funnel. It's very simple and it's going to be very easy for you to set up. Okay, my goal here on this channel is to make marketing, ads, and systems really easy for you. So easy that you can either do it yourself and you can definitely hit the "that was easy" button from Staples back in the day. Okay, today let's talk about ads. Specifically, let's talk about one type of ad funnel that you can run really easy to double your business. Okay, I'll walk you through what it is, how it works, why it works, and some things to consider before you start running the funnel yourself. Okay? Deal? Deal. All right. Before I deliver your dopamine in the form of this funnel, right, I want to teach you first of all how to think about ads. Okay? As a business owner, you shouldn't know what to think, you should know how to think. Okay? Especially when it comes to hiring the right people for your business. You want to make sure that you know that you have people in your business that know how to think about things. Okay? We've both been burned before by ads. I've spent well over $10,000 on ads for myself, and I've also spent just under $100,000 of ads for my clients, and I've helped them to make $1 million from that ad spend. So I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't work, and I want to make this process easy for you, okay? So first and foremost, ads will not save your business, okay? If you think this way, I'm sorry to say, but you may be doomed, okay? If you think that ads are the only thing that are going to save your business, then I'm sorry to say you're not correct. Okay, ads are not a silver bullet, and anybody who thinks this probably hasn't been in business long enough. Okay, ads simply work like an amplifier. Okay, so if you're doing well organically, it's a good sign for you to run ads. If you have really good results in terms of your clientele that you're already working with without running ads, imagine what that could look like when you are running ads. So ads pretty much expose what a business is doing incorrectly and they amplify what a business is doing correctly. Okay? The second thing that you should be aware of before you start to run ads, you should really train your risk tolerance. Okay? You almost want to think about it like you're in the stock market. It's a little interesting. Okay? Let's just say that your offer is like $3,000, right? Be prepared to spend at least $3,000 to acquire your first client via paid ads. Okay? The reason that you want to think like this is because it keeps you in the game significantly longer. Okay? The longer you stay in the game, the more likelihood that you can see a return on your investment. Okay? A lot of people, they quit or they get too fatigued before they start to see the results with their paid ads. Okay? This is what we call marketing fatigue. Okay? The third thing to be aware of is that ads do not pop instantly. Okay? The moment that you put money inside of the ads manager, it's not as if you're going to become a millionaire overnight. And if you were going to be a millionaire overnight, chances are that I would be charging you a lot of money just to be watching this video. Ads have a learning curve, okay? And even ads themselves, when they do launch inside of Meta, right, they even go through something called a learning phase, okay? So the first couple days to a week, right, the ads are in a constant learning phase. So they're trying to pretty much figure out, what is the best conversion that we can bring to this campaign so that the customer is happy, so that you're happy, okay? It's important to be aware that ads start cold and slow, but then they eventually heat up fast. Okay, so what that might look like is, let's just say you have a $3,000 budget. Okay, you may spend at least $1,500, $2,000, maybe $2,500 before you start to see some real results. And then the moment that you get to that last little bit, right, that last little portion, that's when you can start to see the campaign actually start to pop off and bring you in the consistent lead flow that you're after. Okay, so now that you're a professional in terms of understanding the psychology behind running ads, let's talk about this damn funnel, shall we? The type of funnel that we're going to be focusing on is called a direct response campaign. Okay, that might sound complicated, but it's not. A direct response campaign is driving traffic towards one specific action. Inside of Meta, you have a whole bunch of different types of campaigns. You have an awareness campaign, you have a leads campaign, you have a sales campaign. A direct response campaign is just designed to get one particular type of action out of the person. Okay, so this could look like, a VSL funnel. This could look like a webinar. This could look like an application funnel, etc. Okay, these are all forms of a direct response campaign. Here's how we're going to set up the campaign. Okay, the campaign works in two segments. Okay, so we have a cold segment. okay? And we have a warm segment, okay? Before I start talking to you about the amount of ads that you need in each one, you need to understand why we have a cold segment and why we have a warm segment, okay? There's this thing called a buyer's awareness journey or the awareness journey, okay? It's pretty much explaining the journey that a customer goes through before they end up purchasing from you. So first, an individual goes from unaware to problem aware, from problem aware to solution aware, and from solution aware to program aware, okay, which is the exact service that you sell, okay? So in the simplest version of this direct response campaign, what we're going to do is focus just on the problem aware people, and we're going to focus on the solution aware people, okay? So the problem aware people will be what we call our cold traffic audience or a cold segment. And then the solution aware people are going to be the individuals that are in the warm segment, okay? Here's how we can speak to both of them, okay? Because your role is going to be to create ads for each one of these segments, okay? So let's first and foremost talk about the cold traffic, okay? So these ads are speaking to people who know that they have a problem. So for example, right, if you're a fitness coach, you can say something like, you're trying to lose weight, but it's not working because of X reason. You're trying to lose weight, but it's not working because you don't have a proper program in place. You're trying to lose weight, but it's not working because you haven't had the accountability to actually see the results, etc. Your job in the cold segment is just to diagnose, to agitate, and to clarify. What you want to do is create a connection between a cold traffic individual and you want them to see that you know the answer to their problem. Okay, this is the goal of the cold traffic segment. Okay, then in the cold traffic segment, what you're going to do is you're going to have multiple ads. Okay, I'm going to talk about ads a lot on this channel, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that I can make videos about things that are really helpful for you. However, in the cold traffic segment, you want to focus on driving people directly towards a landing page, ideally with a VSL. Okay, so your ad helps them to see that they have a problem. They click on the link, it goes to your VSL landing page, right? And then inside of your landing page, you have a VSL which is answering their questions even more, and it's delivering value that's showing them that you can be the person to help them with their specific situation, okay? From this segment alone, from this cold traffic segment, you will book in calls, okay? Provided that you have a page that is a VSL, it's a headline, a VSL, and then you have headline, subheadline, VSL, and then you have an application page right below it, okay? This will get you booked calls. The quality of the book calls is something that we can discuss another time. However, because you're dealing with people who are coming in more from cold traffic, there's a higher likelihood that this individual hasn't been exposed to your content. They don't have enough trust with you. So what that means is they could, theoretically not be showing up to the call as much as somebody in the warm audience. And they could just not be as committed of a lead, okay? So we're kind of developing something here, okay? In the warm traffic, what we're then gonna do is we're going to talk about people now who know you. We're going to talk to people who know you. They know what the problem is, right? And they have an understanding of what the solution is, generally speaking, okay? Now what you want to do is introduce your mechanism, okay? So if you're a fitness coach, let's just kind of keep it with the first example. So we help clients to lose weight using X method. Or you should be a little bit more specific, right? We help clients to lose 15 pounds in the next 30 days by using the XX method. Okay, I don't want this to sound like a porno, sorry. but yeah, this is kind of like how you're segmenting awareness. This is how you're segmenting the awareness journey inside of your actual campaign so that you can drive really good results, okay? In the cold segment, we diagnose, we agitate, and we clarify, right? And we drive them to the landing page. In the warm segment, this is where you're showing proof, this is where you're showing process, this is where you're showing positioning and authority. Okay? You're telling people, hey, come back to the page. Okay? In the first segment, we drive them to the landing page with the VSL, and in the second segment, we do the exact same thing. This version of the funnel is just what we call a version 1 or an MVP. This is the minimum viable thing that you need in order to get your campaigns off the ground and in order to start seeing a profitable return on ad spend. Okay? Provided that you have a really good offer, provided that you have a lot of social proof, provided that you have case studies and you can really deliver on the service, provided that you can also make pretty decent ad creatives and you're okay with testing until you find the best possible ones, this strategy will work for you, okay? So this is how it works, all right, inside of the ads manager, okay? You're gonna have one campaign be your cold traffic campaign. You're gonna have another campaign be your warm traffic campaign, okay? Your cold traffic campaign is going to have 5 ads. Okay, it's important that when you're testing with a variety. Okay, there's a new update that came out called Andromeda. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about that and what that means. But pretty much the main focus now is not on specific targeting or interests, right? The importance is always on the creative now. Okay, so Meta will scan your ad and show it to individuals who it thinks it can properly, resonate with inside of the ads level. Okay, it's not about the actual targeting, it's not about the interest, it's about the ad itself that you filmed. Okay, so it's good to have a variety here. So 5 ads in the cold segment. Okay, we're going to drive everybody towards the landing page. What we're going to do is actually set up what's called an audience. Okay, I'm going to teach you guys how to do this in one of the next videos, maybe the second video or the third video after this one. Okay, and inside of the cold segment, we're going to set up an audience. Okay, what we're going to do is everybody who visited the landing page, we're going to add those people to a specific bucket. Okay, everybody who didn't submit an application, we're going to add those people to a specific bucket. So what we're doing is we're collecting data from people who go to your landing page but don't sign up. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 buckets of people, we're going to create what's called a retargeting audience. Okay, next in the warm segment, what we're going to do is we're going to create 5 ads. Okay, and these 5 ads are specifically designed to talk about these things that we mentioned here. You're going to show proof, process, positioning, and your authority. Right? You're going to talk about your specific method. Okay, because these people now know what the solution is. These people now know what the problem is. Right? So now what you have to do is create a link between you and the ability to solve their problem. And this is where you do it right here. Okay? You're now going to retarget individuals here in the warm segment who didn't convert from here. Okay, so you're almost kind of creating a safety net, right? People come in via cold, right? But if they don't book in, right? If they visit your page and they don't take an action that you want them to take, then we retarget them with the warm so that we can bring them right back to the landing page so that they can, eventually book in a call. So this is the funnel that you should be running, okay? It's called a direct response campaign. It's super simple to set up. 5 ads in cold, 5 ads in warm, okay? If you have any questions on how to run this, be sure to comment on the video and I'd be happy to help you out. Otherwise, what you can do is you can just book in a consult with my team and I'd be happy to break this down for you in a very simple way. Remember, with this campaign, you want to use those psychology tips that I gave you in the beginning of the video so that way you're not going in, you're spending $500, you're not making any money back, and now you're just upset, right? Be willing to play the game of paid advertising, okay? Because it is a stamina game, okay? Don't take yourself out of the race by not tying both of your shoelaces, okay? Or by not knowing how long the race is going to be, okay? If you need any help with this, be sure to if you need any help, just be sure to comment and I'd be happy to help you out. And if you do want to book in a call with my team, just click the link below and I would love to have a conversation with you and just make the process very simple for you. But yeah, that's been it. I'll see you guys on the next video where we will break down the actual campaign, how to set it up, how to put the audiences together, and how we can launch your first direct response campaign. I'll see you guys.